it.
Right. Oh yeah, I was going to.
Let's see when this thing is going live. Yeah, it already tells me that it doesn't like the screen resolution.
Yeah, it's saying that on my end as well.
Well, not much I can do about that.
Do you want to tweet out as well?
You do that.
Alrighty.
You have more followers as far as I remember.
I do.
I think so.
Why does it still say at the SharePoint, VisualPony?
It's starting.
I have no idea why it says that. Quite honestly, Lev, you know the channel name.
Yeah?
It's Pony&Wolf.
Oh, I know. Wait, is this gonna be like our old times of you, of us RPing, and you trying to... Oh wait, no, that wasn't with you.
Uh-huh.
No. Nah. I'm sorry if I've RP'd with other people. I have a feeling we're gonna have a talk later.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down. It was just... I think it might have been in my old grip as well. What's going on? Yeah. Wait. No! Why is it still doing that?
What?
It's saying Wild Worlds RP Part 13.
It says 15 on mine.
No, with the tweet.
Ah. I have no idea.
Which is why I'm confused.
I have no idea, love. So.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, everypony. Is everybody ready?
Yes. I think.
Chris, do you want to do a recap?
I can try.
Sure, go ahead.
So what I at least remember is that Midnight at least had, and Visual had, a quite of a scolding with the other siblings and asked them, the children, to go and wash up for dinner. And Rosalia was having a little tingling in one of her back paws, and that means something interesting is gonna happen. So she hid behind one of the curtains because she want to know what's going on. What they were talking about was basically what kind of powers and realms the different 5 has both power and responsibilities for.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And after the stream, you Visual also told which of the realms the kids are gonna have responsibility over.
Yes.
I don't remember everyone right now. I'm sorry, but
No problem.
at least you Visual have like the responsible for faith.
Yeah, that
Face,
was the big one, basically.
Yeah, really big one.
So,
And you, yeah, sorry.
No, go on. Go on.
So he went through, like, he was really like disappointed of how most of the all of them, everybody disobeyed. How the children had behaved, because I guess he was quite worried, because yeah, as we know now, he knows fate or possible fates. So he basically took the time while Grandma Lupina,
Auntie Lupina.
Told Midnight about the powers and the realms, and he went through I think it was 150 positive fates for the kids total, and he split them into 5 so that everyone, or at least Midnight, would be allowed to see at least some of them. And the bad ones we didn't hear or look at.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there were
if you don't look at
just wanted to clarify. Script went ahead and explained the fates, and also said that in some of those outcomes they might clash with one another, because at one point he had a fate for Silver Star and I think it was Pixie Cotton, where basically both were marrying the same dude.
Yeah. Which would just be hilarious overall.
Yeah, and kind of weird.
Just a tad.
But I did like the Creation and Me. I think that was pretty spot on. But I know, like you said, I can see the danger about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Lunar, no, I do not have pinky sense.
Well, you sure about that?
At least not the pinky sense. I don't know when stuff falls from the sky.
Okay. And you pups learned a very important lesson, didn't you?
Yes, so important. It was like all the plushies or the toys.
Mm-hmm.
So precious, and like you can imagine yourself when you are a child and you have like that one toy that you're like, it's your heart, your baby, everything, and then just see it like poof. So yeah, Rosalia have really like, I'm not gonna do anything like they did. No, ever. Because she's so afraid for her little Francis.
Yeah.
And I love the fan art that Death made. I think it was him.
Yeah, of
Francis.
Yeah.
That was so adorable.
So, shall I set the stage for our next session here?
Sure, go for it.
Go.
So, the setting is basically this. Script will not be present in this one at all. And Silver Star won't be either. Because Silver Star and Script have a little one-on-one time in a far-off dimension that is uninhabited.
Because she's like him, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
However, Ramo Sky, Ivory Mist, and Pixie Cotton, they are off to their respective power relatives. So, Ramo Sky is currently in the realm of the dead, practicing with Elysium, while Pixie Cotton is with Celestia.
Ooh.
Because there is no fifths, except Midnight, and Midnight doesn't know her powers completely yet either. While Ivory Mist is with Morphus.
Oh.
Being overseen by Angel Bunny.
Exactly. Angel Bunny armed with a bazooka.
That works.
And today's episode, or RP better, is Rosalia and Midnight being taught by Queen Lupina herself.
And Midnight is already regretting it.
So, the setting is that Lupina has brought both of you to a very big chamber that is empty, completely empty, but brightly illuminated. Walls, floor, and ceiling are all gray.
Okay.
Rosalia is standing on Midnight's back, like putting her paws on her head. And Lupina is towering over the both of you, with a smirk on her face.
Rosalia kind of hides behind her mom. If they're still in the same room.
Yeah. Rosalia's on my basically just putting her paws on my head. So she's on my back, but she's like leaning over my head.
Yeah.
So you could hide behind my head.
Yeah, that's kind of, you just see like the top of her ears and the front paws. She's like, I don't like this.
And Midnight immediately goes, I'm gonna regret this, aren't I?
That remains to be seen, Midnight. Lupina says, while her smirk grows even wider.
You say that, but your face tells me everything.
I do not know what you mean.
Sure you don't.
Anyhow. And she spreads her legs a little bit so she has a firm standing on the ground. I think the first thing you two need to know about today is that I plan to train you separately.
No! Very silently behind Midnight's head.
Lupina's eyes kind of flick a little.
Don't worry, Rosalia. Rose. I'm just going to call you Rose. Don't worry, Rose. It'll be fine. Besides, you guys remember, she has your abilities, so she's the best one to teach you, and I won't be far away. I can teleport you right beside you. All you have to do is call. Deal?
Deal. A little bit shaky.
And Lupina smirks even wider. Don't be so sure about that.
Midnight gives her a look of, I'm trying to calm my child here. Do you want to be able to do this or not?
And she just gives you a look that conveys she'll have to grow up sometime.
Midnight just rolls her eyes. So you're gonna duplicate yourself?
And there are suddenly 2 of Lupina.
Oh boy.
That answers my question. Doesn't that half your power, though?
It does. But for what I plan today, this should suffice. And she points towards the door on the right side of the room. Your right. This is your door, Midnight. And then she points to another door on the left. This is yours, Rosalia.
Oh boy.
Midnight reaches round, lifts Rosalia by her scruff, sets her down, and gives her a nuzzle. Don't worry. Your Auntie Lulu has got everything in hand, okay?
Nuzzles her mom back and looks up at her like, okay. She's very nervous.
And Lupina, standing in front of you, Midnight, starts walking towards the door, while the Lupina standing in front of Rosalia is walking towards the other door.
Midnight pushes Rosalia a little with her nose towards her door, and then starts following her Lupina. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Rosalia looks back at her mom, and like her ears go down, and her tail is just dragging on the floor, but she's following her auntie. The one she's supposed to follow.
Okay.
That's gonna get confusing.
Okay, so we'll start out with Rosalia's scenario here.
Mm.
As you enter the room that Lupina has prepared for you, you see a big, wide, dense, but still brightly lit forest.
Ooh.
And the smell of something very, very tasty comes into your nose.
Starts to get water in her mouth, because for some reason she just instantly became very hungry.
And Lupina turns to you and says, "Well, Rosalia, the very first thing I want you to do is sniff out the treat that I have hidden for you in this forest."
Treat?
Treat.
Her ears perk up and the tail starts wagging a little bit.
To which Lupina chuckles slightly and pets your head.
She just starts to look around and then starts like sniff, 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 sniff.
That's adorable.
So you start following the trail, I suppose.
Yes, as soon as she catches it, she starts walking. But when she is quite sure of the way it is, she starts running like wobbly pups do.
After a short while, you encounter, well, in the middle of the forest, you come to a clearing. And in the clearing, there is a big table set with 2 plates on it, a roasted turkey, and a chocolate cake.
Which one smells the most delicious?
That is for you to decide.
Okay. I would think since she just bounces off and jumps right face down into the chocolate cake.
To which suddenly Lupina appears next to the table, clapping a little bit with her front paws.
She just ignores it and continue eating.
All right. Then, let's switch over to midnight for a moment.
Uh-oh.
As Lupina leads you through the door, you encounter a very dense, dark jungle.
Okay.
You smell wet leaves, as if it hasn't been long since it rained. But you also get the smell of blood in your nose.
Midnight scrunches her nose a little. So, where are we? Why do I smell blood?
Because there is a dangerous predator in here.
What?
You told me you know how to hunt, don't you?
Well, yeah.
You know how a hunter hunts its prey.
Well, depending on the animal, yeah. And how hungry and lazy they are.
Do you know how prey feels?
Well, I have been hunted a couple of times by a dragon or two. That was not fun.
That's not what I mean. Have you ever been stalked in the middle of the night?
No, I tend to stay away from stuff like that. There isn't anything big enough in the Everfree to really harm me. And the Timberwolves don't really like me chewing on their bark.
One who wants to be a master hunter and learn how to fight, to defend themselves, must first know how to be prey and still avoid being caught.
You're not doing what I think you're doing, are you?
What do you think I'm doing?
You're gonna make me run. And be prey.
It is your decision if you run. But you are already prey.
Only one question. What type of thing is hunting me?
I will not answer that.
Oh, come on! Any prey, once they know they're being stalked, usually has a defense mechanism against different types of predators.
Let's just say that it is a predator that matches you perfectly.
Is it you?
No.
Oh.
Otherwise you would be dead already.
I thought we can't be killed.
Technically we can't. And as soon as you leave this room again and the door slams shut, that is true. But while you are in here, you will not be able to use any of your magic.
That's what you meant by not being able to teleport to Rose.
Exactly. No regeneration. Not until you leave this room.
You know Script will kill you if I die, right?
Don't worry. No death would be permanent. Oh, would it?
Midnight's ears flick all around as Midnight scans the area.
Your goal? And she, for a moment, elevates both of you about 200 feet over the jungle. And in the distance, in the far distance, you see a mountain. And on its top, there is a light. That is your goal. Reach it, and you have passed this test.
Then I better get started.
And she brings both of you back down to the forest floor.
You better not be putting Rosalia through anything like this.
She conjures up an image in midair showing how Rosalia is just digging into a chocolate cake.
I should have guessed you'd be one of the ones to spoil them.
She just shrugs.
So what are you gonna do? Watch me?
Yes.
This is gonna be disturbing.
And
Midnight scans the area quickly.
Lupina suddenly vanishes into thin air, leaving nothing but the sounds of the forest and the gentle breeze of the night.
Midnight immediately starts running silently through the forest. Her ears perking up at every sound, looking around. Looking specifically for sniffing the air, but specifically looking for water.
You hear a stream not too far away from you.
Keeping my ears open, slowly directs my way to it, while keeping the light, remembering the direction of the mountain in my mind.
As you approach the sound of trickling water, the smell of ammonia hits your nose.
What would Midnight What do you do? Okay. Ammonia means dead. Now this could either mean... Stops and sniffs a bit, trying to figure out whether it's old or new.
It smells pretty fresh.
Midnight changes directions, looking for something else. Another water source.
The sound
She's
of
looking for mud.
The sound of trickling water suddenly ceases, and the ground trembles slightly as you hear something move in the distance.
Keeps moving silently across the ears perking up, deliberately avoiding the direction of the sound.
You come to a small lake.
Goes to the shoreline, jumping in. Well, no, slowly going in, not jumping because that'll make too much noise, and covering herself in mud.
The water in front of you is bubbling a little.
Quickly gets out and heads towards the mountain, keeping her ears and eyes sharp, looking around,
as you get
zigzagging
as you get out of the water. A giant maw emerges out of it where you had just been standing, clamping shut and then disappearing into the depths again.
Midnight blinks. Okay then, maybe there's more than one type of monster in here. She's not very good at spotting water creatures. She doesn't spend much time near fishing or anything. Now covered in mud, she zigzags a pathway to the mountain, being as silent as possible, staying low to the ground.
Every few seconds, you can feel the ground tremble.
I'm live streaming. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, what did you say?
Every few seconds, as you're prowling through the forest, you feel the ground tremble underneath. And you hear this. Give me a second.
I'm really scared. I'm like, what on earth am I going to do? Chris, you still there?
Yeah, I'm just
I'm back.
Okay.
listening in, like, it's scary and interesting, so I'm just trying to focus on listening onto the story.
That's fair.
Every few seconds you hear a booming sound as if something heavy is treading on the floor, and then the ground is shaking.
Keeps looking around, trying to moving silently but quickly, trying to pinpoint the noise that it's coming from and which direction.
You can't, because the echo is too widespread.
Keeps... All I can say is keeps moving low to the ground. When she smells death, she avoids it. She just keeps moving, zigzagging, keeping low, using the the mud to cover her scent.
You reach a point where there is a hedge, or a bush that looks like a hedge, not finely trimmed but wildly grown, that seems to extend in both directions as far as the eye can see.
Midnight looks around and then start sniffing the bush a bit, the hedge.
You smell nothing. But wet earth and the bush, basically.
Yeah. So the only option is to go above or keep going down.
Or through.
Through the hedge?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm imagining a dent like the hedges I have here. There's no way through a hedge.
This one you could go through. Because it's not a cultivated one.
Over would mean that if there would be no evidence of how she got over. But through or below would leave a trail. Though it doesn't necessarily mean they can follow it. Well, Midnight's first instinct would be to dig. Dig, she digs. She looks around, making sure the coast is clear before digging. To try and dig under the hedge.
Suddenly, in the silence of the forest, you hear a sound that's like...
Midnight stops, looks around.
You see nothing. Nothing but darkness around you.
Midnight looks for a way to go over the hedge.
Do you jump?
Well,
it's only like
no,
a meter high.
Okay, she wants to look over the hedge.
You look over the hedge. On the other side is a big puddle of water and a few bones. Big bones. That have not a trace of flesh left on them.
Midnight immediately backs away. Something is clearly wrong here. I'm incredibly creeped out!
And again, out of the darkness around you, he hears a sound.
Okay, freeze! I'm freaking out. I'm getting creeped out. My skin is crawling. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
What do you say, Chris?
I think she's followed by a huge snake.
I think I'm being followed by a huge centipede.
Well, either way, maybe cover yourself up in more mud and lay low for a while.
The problem is, this hedge has a pond of water and bones, meaning something on that side killed them.
But also, since there's not a shred of flesh left, it would either mean that they have eaten all the flesh or that it has rotted away by now.
The difference?
The difference is If they had eaten all the flesh, then that would be a very, very effective predator. If it had rotted away, I might have told you that you smell decay.
It didn't. You didn't say that. So that means that it is an effective predator.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do, really. I'm stuck between something chasing me and the hedge, which makes me think something else is going on.
Just remember that the thing chasing you might be the thing that killed the thing on the other side of the hedge.
But you said this hedge went as far as the eye can see.
To the left and right.
So?
It isn't very high.
I'm thinking that this is a... I'm sorry, but what for some reason I've got in my head, it's that weird trap where you get trapped in a hedge maze and there's things trying to kill you.
It's just going to the left and right, like a wall. Like a border. Like dividing the forest.
I know. Never mind. I'll explain later.
So, to give Midnight a little bit of time to think...
Sorry.
We're jumping back over to Rosalia.
Just saying, chat, please help me.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Who has by now finished the chocolate cake and is... no, Death, it is not a Wendigo. And is laying on her back full of chocolate cake.
Oh, I ate too much chocolate cake.
Lupina leans down, nuzzling Rosalia.
Nuzzles her back and just looks like extremely full of food and happy and sleepy.
No sleeping now, little one. Your next lesson awaits.
Okay.
And she puts you on her back and starts trotting off towards a clearing in the forest. Another clearing. Where she has prepared several different rocks of different sizes.
Rosalia kind of looks at them and like, what? You collect rocks?
What did you say?
She asked if she are collecting rocks, like...
No.
Like, you know...
Look what I will do now, and repeat.
Okay, I will try.
She sets you down right next to her, stands in front of the biggest boulder, and starts howling with all of her might, so that the forest behind that boulder actually has the trees bending. While the boulder itself turns to very finely grit sand.
Rosalia's eyes just like triple in size, and her tail is started wagging so much that she makes like small winds behind her. And like, ooh, that looks cool! How did you do that?
And Lupina turns to you, smiling. Just concentrate on your magic, little one, and howl as loudly as you can.
Okay, I try. And she goes up to she goes up to the closest one.
Which is about her own size.
Yeah. She kind of like, okay, I'm gonna give it my all. So she puts her paws like really like steady into the ground and wide.
Mm-hmm.
And her tail goes up and she is like, okay, almost looks like she's gonna bounce on the rock, but then she imagined that she's capturing all this air in her lungs, and when she are howling, she imagined that she's releasing like super strong winds, and she howls.
And you howl, and the rock stays in place, but you blow a hole through it.
Yay! Oh, I didn't do it. And her ears go down, and she looks up at Lupina. What did I do wrong?
You didn't howl as loud as you could. Also, I think you were a bit close. And she looks at the hole you made in the rock, running her paws around the edges, cutting herself slightly. But it looks like you got the gist of it.
Yay! Her tails go up again and she starts wagging a little bit.
And Lupina pets you.
Happily accepts the petting.
Now, let's try again. And she puts a little bit of bigger boulder in front of you, using her magic, and sets you back a few feet.
Okay. And she likes, you know when cats are hunting stuff and they do like that wiggle?
Mm-hmm.
She does like that.
Okay.
She's like really trying to concentrate. She, are there any winds where they are now? Is it blowing air around them like a small breeze or anything?
You mean if you have to imagine that, or?
No, if there already are, or if it's totally silent.
There's no wind.
Okay. She does the same kind of trying to picture all the air inside of her, but this time she's imagining like a tornado is coming out of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And she howls from the tippy toes and up to her ears, using her whole body like.
And a giant gust of wind emerges from your snout.
My snout?
Your muzzle.
Okay.
Turning the boulder to dust and spreading the dust all over the forest behind it.
When she opened her eyes, she forgets to lower her volume, so she starts jumping on all fours, screaming, "I did it! I did it! I did it!"
And Lupina keeps jumping around, avoiding the blasts of deathly magics that you're inexplicably shooting at her. And then suddenly grabs your muzzle and holds it shut for a second.
She looks very confused, like, what? And she's mumbling through her teeth, like, I did it, didn't I? Did I do anything wrong again?
You did it, but please lower your volume once you're done.
Oh, sorry.
Otherwise, if you are in an inhabited area, you might cause involuntary damage to mortals.
No, that's a bad thing.
Yes.
Oh no.
I have a feeling that midnight is getting frustrated over there.
I'm trying to think. People are giving me ideas.
Cheater!
No, I'm not. I asked. You never said I couldn't ask. And so far,
I
their
know.
help is A, run and hide. B, use the power of friendship. And C, grab a shovel.
Okay.
Oh, and D, climb a tree and throw my headband.
Mm-hmm. So, Rosalia, are you ready for your next lesson?
Oh, I can do more?
Much
She-
more.
Woohoo! And she starts wagging her tail.
And Lupina shows you a few trees that are standing quite close together. They're very big and very thick, so very sturdy looking. Observe and repeat, she tells you.
Oh. She like sits down on her back paws.
Mhm. On her
And
haunches.
she likes take one of her paw up over her eye and just like, yes sir. And then she like totally concentrates on her auntie.
And Lupina starts running towards the trees as fast as she can. And you see this little cone of air forming around her.
Ooh.
And then she jumps, impacts on the first tree, jumps to the next tree, and to the next, and to the next, just traveling from one tree to the other without falling off.
She likes when she's gonna stop. That's one of her thoughts. But it's like, wow.
And then Lupina comes back, jumping from tree to tree. And as she lands in front of you, a strong gust of wind ruffles your fur. And you see that there are actually chunks missing out of the tree bark where Lupina has impacted them.
Wow. That was awesome. And she starts wagging so there comes wind behind her.
You have no idea, but it can also come very useful in a hunt.
Like when you're playing tag?
In a way.
Okay, nice.
Now, I want you to concentrate on your paws.
She stands up and just kind of like lifts one of her paws and tries to look under it, like, my paws?
Lupina very gently puts her paw over yours, putting it back down on the ground. Yes, concentrate on your paws.
Okay. She's closing her eyes. Oh, sorry.
Feel the ground under you.
She closes her eyes, takes her head down, and she stands firmly again, and takes her claws out, just like scratching the earth and trying to now I'm standing more on that paw, poot, pillow, paw pillow, finger, toe. Sorry.
Toe.
What? Yeah.
Toe.
That
Let's just
toe
go with
now.
toe.
Okay. Yeah. Now she's standing more on that toe. Now she's standing more on the middle toe, pillow, stuffy. So she kind of does that. And when she has, like, feeling that all of the 4 paws are completely, like, everybody is on the ground, she starts trying to, like, okay, how hard is the ground I'm standing on?
So, as you are concentrating, you start, like, when you close your eyes, it is almost completely dark. But as you close your eyes and keep concentrating, you suddenly feel something around you, and the darkness behind your eyelids is suddenly illuminated with a gentle blue light.
She kind of gets a little bit startled, so she jumps and opens her eyes. Like, what was that?
And the blue light vanishes. What was what, little pap?
It was like, I don't know, blue something out of nowhere. Like, I was scared. What was it?
Lupina chuckles a little bit, then raises one of her paws, and you see, like, one of the trees literally coming out of the ground, flying up into the air, and turning upside down, and the top of the tree rams into the ground.
Yeah, when the tree, like, rushes out of the ground, she, like, you have seen cartoon cats when they get scared. All of her hair goes up, and she's like, ah!
What you saw, little pap, was magic.
Like the one Mama and Papa and you use?
No, not quite.
Then what was it?
It was normal magic. Not creation magic.
Creation magic? Like when I get cupcakes?
Exactly.
You're saying I can make more than just one cupcake?
And Lupina holds out her left front paw, waves her right front paw over it, and suddenly there's a tray with 12 cupcakes on it.
She kind of lays on the ground, and her eyes are like 3 times the size, and just like, whoa!
And she
this
waves
is
her...
even better than... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
She says, like, this is even better than crushing rock.
And she waves her paw over it again. And the cupcakes quadruple.
She rolls over on her back, just like...
Creation magic is almost unlimited. But there will be situations in your life where you have to use normal magic. And that is what you just saw. So, never let a unicorn or other pony or other creature explain to you how to use magic.
Because they operate on a different method than you, us, me? Or...
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Then she sits up again normally.
Now, try again.
Okay. And she gets up in the stand and starts concentrating. And now this time, I'm not gonna be afraid of the blue stuffy. Okay. She whispers to herself.
So you concentrate again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you start running?
I'm waiting a little bit to I feel like some and when I get to the top, I start running.
You start seeing the blue light again.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel all tensed up. Like every muscle in your body is tense.
Just like feel so ready to start running even more.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to start running?
For some reason, she trying to like, okay, that's normal magic, and she said to focus on my paw. So should I try to have that blue stuff on my paws?
You can reach out to it.
She reaches out to it and trying to put it on her paws like shoes.
It's like streams that are flying through the air.
Okay, she grabs 4. One on each paw.
You grab 4, and suddenly you feel how, like, as you are, your concentration breaks as you are shoved to one side by Lupina.
Ow! Ow! What was that for?
And as you open your eyes, you see 4 of the trees flying past where you just stood.
Oh. Oops. And she looks up at Lupina, but I don't.
Always remember, everything is connected by magic. Don't just pull on it willy-nilly.
Okay. So everything, all of the blue stuffies are connected to real stuffies?
Exactly.
Okay, so blue are plants?
The magic in itself is blue.
Okay.
You will learn with time what connects to what.
So they will have different colors?
No, you will just know with time.
That's hard. Okay. She looks kind of like tired. I'm just like, okay.
And Lupina waves one of her paws, and suddenly you fly up into the air.
Ooh! Ah! Ow! Ow!
And she catches you with her paws.
What was that?
Magic.
Again?
That was simple magic. No creation involved.
So normal magic can make things fly? Or up in the air?
Fly, levitate. You can use it to teleport.
Ooh! Nice. She gets one of her, like, when she is kind of planning to be up to something she's not supposed to do. Not like in a big way, but like maybe stealing something from the fridge. Kind of way. Yeah, she gets that smile just like, nice.
And then she puts you back onto the ground, points towards the remaining trees, and tells you to try again.
Okay, so this time I should not grab any of the magic stuffies?
If you don't want stuff to fly at you.
Okay. She gets into her position and starts concentrating.
And soon you see the magic again, streaming past you.
Okay, no touchy, no touchy.
And you see the outlines of the trees in the distance, even though your eyes are closed.
This is super weird, but it works. So don't rush into trees. Or should I run into trees? She did break some of them. I will run into one and avoid the others.
And so you start running or not?
Yes, I start running as fast as I can. Without falling, hopefully.
Yes, you don't fall. Do you jump too? As you reach the first tree?
No, I think I want to try running through to see how strong it is. Or I will get seriously hurt. But I will try.
You try to run through the tree.
Yes. Like,
you black out.
Oh.
You are now unconscious.
Oops.
You ran into a tree full speed.
Yeah.
Head first.
Yeah. She
I don't think even Lupina was expecting that.
Yeah, Lupina is kind of sitting in the background with her mouth open and is like, what?
Ow, ow, ow. Don't move. I can explain what was going through her head because she was kind of thinking, I could scream at a rock and it was turn into dust. Maybe I can make a hole in a tree by running very fast. Maybe. So she wanted to find out.
You can, but not this way.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
The result is you are for a while passed out as Lupina comes over to you, picks you up off the ground, carries you back to the clearing you were in before with the rocks, cuts a little bit of a bed out of one of the rocks with her claw, summons up a mattress and a blanket and a first aid kit, nurses the very big cut on your forehead before putting you in the makeshift bed. And with that, we go back over to midnight. Who is still standing in front of the hedge and doesn't know what to do.
No, I think I have a plan.
Okay.
I think. Maybe.
Let's hear it.
Ish.
Let's hear it.
Midnight quickly scans the area.
Yes.
Including over the hedge. Making sure there's nothing predatory or anything suspicious on either side, other than noises. Takes a deep breath and jumps over the hedge, immediately avoiding the water and just sprinting around it.
As you are in mid-air over the hedge, you hear a sound like a cracking whip right behind your tail, and you feel as if something has just nicked a few hairs out of your tail.
Looks around quickly, but keeps running.
And you see nothing in the darkness.
That terrifies Midnight even more. Like I said, she avoids the water and keeps running.
You hear the from your left and right.
Freeze! I don't know.
You freeze or freeze the RP?
Freeze the RP!
Okay.
Seriously, why are you making that noise? You know that noise freaks me out.
No, I didn't.
Haven't you done it before?
No.
As a joke? I feel like you have done it before.
Nah, no, I have not.
Well, now you know. That thing freaks me out. Don't! I'm gonna slap you.
For that you would have to come here, and I would very much appreciate that.
Sticking my tongue out at you. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? There's clearly... Wait. Looks down around my feet to my left and right.
You see that you're still running?
Yeah.
That to your left and right, right next to your own paw prints, there are prints appearing out of nowhere.
What type of prints?
Two-toed with sharp claws in the front.
Invisible animals, aren't they?
Maybe.
Love, it's pretty obvious now. Aren't they invisible?
In a sense, yes.
Can Midnight smell anything at all?
Mm-mm.
So wait, these predators are both invisible and see-through?
Mm-hmm.
What? How are you supposed to defeat something like that?
Sound.
Elaborate, please, because I don't see how I could use sound right now.
May I give you a little bit of a hint?
Yes, please, because...
These things are blind.
I've been running silently through the forest. How would they be following me?
You dug a hole.
Oh, yeah.
You put mud in your fur that is slowly drying and falling off, making noises on the dried leaves on the forest floor.
Hey, in all fairness, I was trying to avoid my scent. Midnight is basically dead now.
And you brought the scent of a lake in the middle of a forest. Just a piece of advice earlier when I told you there was the sound of running water and you smelled ammonia.
Mm.
What do you think it was when I told you that the sound of running water stopped?
They were... I don't know.
Urine. Something very big was taking a leak.
That makes sense.
Just as an example, you could have gone there and used the urine as a disguise.
True. But my first instinct was, if something is freshly dead, that means the killer is probably very, very close nearby.
But dead bodies don't smell of ammonia.
Well, now there's nothing Midnight can do. As you said, that I'm drying up. So I'm that does not make sense.
This whole RP doesn't make sense. We are basically gods, so...
Point. But what is Midnight to do now? If, as you say, the sound of the mud drying and falling off is really causing problems, then she's dead.
you basically have lost most of your mud so far. There's only a little bit left on your snout.
And this is something that wouldn't occur to Midnight, because her first instinct was get mud, get a different scent, so she doesn't smell like food.
Shall we just continue?
Yeah, once I figure out what I'm gonna do. Okay, they're blind. Though, she also probably would realize something else. If she figures out that they're thingy, then... Maybe? That might work still? Huh. Okay, how would that help?
What?
Okay. Quarter minute suggested that I jump into the lake, and I'm not exactly sure how that would work. Yes, it might get the mud off my nose, but that wouldn't help too much.
Don't forget that there's also a monster in there.
That's true. But... Okay, Midnight's figured out they're blind. Let's just say that. Midnight... realizing it... Quick... how big... Is the lake really big? Has she run all the way around it yet?
You have distanced yourself about a mile from the lake.
Oh, that's not gonna work then.
Because once you saw the bubbles in the lake, you ran away from it.
No, the one on the other side of the... on the other side of the... hedge.
Ah, the puddle. That's not
puddle?
a big puddle of water. It's not a lake, I said puddle.
Oh. So it's like just water that hasn't dried up yet?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in that?
You mean monster? No.
Yeah, no. See, I was hoping that there would be a monster in it, so that Midnight could maybe use something to distract the monsters chasing her to go to the monster in the lake, but okay.
There might be a few leeches in there, but that's it.
So right now, what's still attracting them is Midnight's running.
You're running, the scent of the lake, and the falling of the mud.
But you just said I've only got a small bit of my nose.
Mm-hmm. But they still know where you approximately went because of the trail you left.
True. So they're right beside me, right? Running by my sides, left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Then... Midnight really... That would work. Okay, Midnight cuts off her cloak and throws it in so takes off her rips off her headband and her cloak, throwing it in both to the right and left. So basically one goes to the right, one goes to the left, hopefully hitting the monsters. And in the process she rubs the last bit of dirt off her nose, and and then jumps back
as your headband and your cloak catch on the two beings that have been chasing you. You see the outline of a very narrow head that seems almost reptile in nature.
These are what I think they are. Okay, okay. So now there shouldn't be anything. Moon Knight has frozen. She's not moving. She's shallow.
And as you freeze in the distance, you see your cloak and headband fall to the floor.
Midnight quietly moves around, slowly making her way in the direction of the mountain, keeping her eyes on the grass, looking for movements and looking for tracks.
You see a bunch of tracks crisscrossing the path that you're about to take right in front of you.
Move slowly around them.
Nothing happens. These tracks seem to be at least a few minutes old.
Keeps walking towards the mountain, keep looking around for tracks, ears perked up for any rustle or sound at all.
You come towards a grassy plain that is basically a giant clearing in the forest, in the jungle, that is just one big grassy plain. And in the grass you see movement.
Goes around the edge of the clearing.
It goes all around the mountain.
I'm confused.
It's like, imagine a ring of trees at the foot of the mountain.
Yeah.
Then another ring that is this big giant clearing, and then another ring of trees that you just came out of.
Okay.
So this ring, this grassy plain, goes all around the mountain, but then behind that is another ring of trees. And the grass is higher than you are tall. Do you keep going around?
At least to move away from the movement.
As you move around, you see movement every now and again. Some close, some far away from you. And here and there are a few rocks at the edge of the grass, and some in the grass, but not a distance that you would be able to jump.
And not really stepping stones through the thing.
Mm-mm.
So basically, I'm trapped between creatures behind me and creatures in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Are they the same creatures?
Some of them at the very least. Because you can hear their sound from the grass.
And thank you for not doing it. What to do? Is there any easy tree?
That you could climb.
Yes.
Right to your left.
Can I climb it quietly?
I fear not. Your claws at the very least would make a little bit of sound on the bark.
Can they follow me?
They cannot climb.
None of the creatures?
None of them. But just as a warning, this tree does not have any branches that are long enough to extend over the entirety of the grassland.
Seriously? Eh.
Do you want to investigate the tree anyhow?
Investigate as mean climb it or just look at it?
Look at it.
Okay, yeah, why not? While I try and gather some information.
So you walk around the tree, I suppose, while examining it.
Yes.
You see that it is a very big, very thick oak tree. And that at the side of the tree that is facing the jungle, there's an opening between the roots that would be big enough for you to fit into.
To hide?
Not necessarily. But that is your decision, basically.
I don't understand what you mean by necessarily. Are you saying it's a tunnel, or... Investigates.
You stick your head into it, and as your eyes adjust to the darkness inside, you see that it is indeed going deeper than it appeared from the outside. Though it is very narrow.
Sniffs. To find any sort of scent of any predator or prey or where it might go.
You smell a badger.
So it's a badger hole.
Maybe. I can't give you too many tips here.
But I'm your girlfriend, please.
So you smell badger.
At least tells me it's roughly safe. But if I dig again, they'll find me. Though it's already a... There's no way I'm getting across that thing safely. No matter what, the grass alone would bring signs. So it's either a hole that might go somewhere, or sign that might... or running. How big is the thing? Would I be able to run across it at all? Or is that a bad idea?
It's about half a mile.
And it's filled with monsters.
Not filled. You see the movement here and there.
Can I come with a suggestion if it's okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It might sound a little mean or really mean to the badger, but if there is a badger in the badger hole, you could scare him so he would run out in the forest and hide in the badger hole until hopefully the monsters think that the badger might be you and run after that instead. But that's really mean to the badger. I don't know what size of badger it is, but if it is like a dog size, like the ones in Norway, then it should be fine.
You have dog-sized badgers?
Yes.
Depending on the dog, but yeah.
In Germany too.
Okay, that's it. You're moving here. That's not actually a bad idea. Investigating to see if there's even a badger inside would be a... Is it... Can I tell if it's a long time... if it's recently used or not? As in, is it...
The sense that your nose picks up is very fresh.
Very fresh. And I'm guessing if I go in the hole, I'll make noise, yes?
No, not really.
Goes in the hole! That's my only option, really.
You crawl through the hole until you reach a little bit of a bigger chamber, but it still isn't big enough for you to stand, only big enough for you to kind of crawl. Not on your tummy anymore, but crawl. And in one corner, you see a sleeping badger that is about your own size.
The size of me? I'm the size of an average pony.
You're dealing with Lupina's creations here.
Oh, point. Is it only that chamber? Are there other ways off?
No.
This badger can talk, can't it?
The clock is ticking.
It's snoring pretty loudly.
Puts one... Holds it down with one paw. Well, no, with two paws. And shakes it awake, but keeps it down there so it can't attack me.
And as you shake it awake, it rolls right over you, and suddenly it's on top. Its very angry-looking face right in front of yours, teeth bared.
Hey, I'm only looking for some help here.
It doesn't answer you.
Please, I just need to get to the mountain. And I was hoping someone might be able to give me a little hint.
It's not answering you. Instead, it hits you in the face with a paw.
Grabs it with a paw and rolls it, like, sort of... I don't know how to describe it, but basically grabs it and tackles it into the very badly because, you know, tight space, and puts all my weight on top of it, going, look, can you talk or can't you?
I'm going meta here. It can't. It's a normal badger.
Okay, the way you said it was snoring sort of made me think, meh.
I've heard dogs snore like that, so...
I've actually never heard a dog snore.
I did. My aunt's dog.
Fair enough.
It's quite adorable.
So yeah, it snaps at you while you're trying to hold it down and trying to reason with it.
Okay, this is a normal badger. Then... I hate to do this, Bob, but... pushes it out.
While you try to do that, it bites your front leg.
And I use my other paw to... I pull away, but not before using my other paw to scratch at its face.
It yelps, jumping back a little bit into the tunnel that leads to its burrow. But as soon as it has recovered, it tries to come back in and attack you.
And... Freeze RP for a second.
Just one piece of advice, love. A badger usually doesn't hunt. It can defend itself, but it will not go after live prey, usually.
So?
You, on the other hand, are a predator.
Yeah.
Intimidated.
You're a wolf. Wolves sometimes eat badgers.
Mm-hmm.
Growls at it, glaring, giving it the stare.
The stare.
So basically you make it look as if you're ready to pounce on it.
Yes.
Which makes it halt for a second. Standing there. It looks at you as if it's waiting for you to make a move.
Takes a step forward, bristling my fur, raising my tail, putting my ears back.
It slowly moves out of its burrow backwards.
Keeps moving forward, one paw at a time.
As soon as its huge body has cleared the burrow, it turns tail and runs.
Good luck, Badger.
Midnight waits and listens to see if anything follows it.
It doesn't take long. Several seconds, only a few seconds after the badger has disappeared into the darkness, you hear very quick footfalls disturbing the dried leaves on the forest floor in the direction in which the badger went. Dozens of them.
Waits until I don't hear anymore before coming out of the tunnel.
As you come out of the tunnel, you hear growling and yelping and the sounds of breaking branches in the distance.
Midnight takes one last scan of the clearing.
Mm-hmm.
And after seeing no movement, confirmed,
Mm-hmm.
she runs through it as silently as she can, but as quickly as she can.
As you are running, suddenly something impacts on the ground in front of you, making a wet sound.
Looks.
It's a piece of black and white furred flesh.
The badger. Keeps running.
I'm sorry, Badger.
As you are about 3/4 the way through the grass,
Mm-hmm.
you hear movement behind you.
Keeps moving.
It gets closer.
Keeps moving.
You get clear of the grass and shoot right into the forest.
Okay. Not safe, but one obstacle down. Keeps running, but concentrates on a bit more on being silent.
You hear a sound that sounds like sniffing, then the sounds that you heard before, and something that's like grunting.
Grunting?
They're looking for you.
Okay, I don't know how Chris managed to be creepy, but that was creepy!
Sorry.
They're looking for you.
No! Yeah. Creepy.
By the way, that was Lupina's voice coming into your ear.
Midnight rolls her eyes, shaking it off. Listening and looking, changing her path constantly, jumping on rocks when she can, so that she doesn't leave too many paths.
Tracks, you mean?
Yeah.
As you're standing on one of the bigger rocks, you hear something scaly brushing up against the rock right below you.
Midnight freezes, looking for any tracks or anything.
You see the same two-toed tracks in the on the ground that are appearing around the boulder that you're standing on.
You don't, Art! No, stop that! Stop reading the chat and stop doing that! Death, don't be that annoying!
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. I will eat you all.
You wanna eat your own pup?
Yeah, dogs do it all the time. Wolves do it all the time, actually.
Said puppy.
And there's no rocks I can jump to?
Mm-mm.
So basically I'm trapped. I shouldn't have thrown away both of my my thing and my other thing. Oh, are there any small rocks on the big boulder?
Yes. 3.
Picks up... Silently picks up the 3 rocks and throws one in the far distance.
The sounds below you cease. And for a moment there's absolute quiet.
Midnight doesn't move.
No movement below you and no sound.
And no sign of the tracks leaving?
Nope.
Midnight throws another one in the same direction.
A few tracks appear that are leading away from the rock you're standing on.
How many?
8.
How many were around me?
In terms of tracks, I mean each individual footstep.
Okay.
And around you, you saw 4.
4 specific tracks?
4 specific footsteps. Meaning a 4-legged creature.
Okay. And since I saw 8 leaving...
It took 2 steps with each paw into the direction you threw the rock.
Thank you. Sorry, my brain was not working that out. I was imagining one-footed animals for some reason.
Sure, the perfect predator just hops along.
Yeah, we have the walking alive potato and a one-legged monster.
I'm imagining a one-legged dinosaur too.
Oh God!
Fan artist, to your drawing tables. We want live potatoes and 1-foot dinosaurs.
It was a one. Actually, to be more specific, it was a one-footed raptor.
No, it's not.
a one-footed, blind, white raptor. That's what was going through my head.
With pink eyes, I guess, since it's blind.
No, actually, that hadn't occurred to me, but there you go. Throws the last stone further away, in the same direction.
And you see the bushes and leaves being disturbed very quickly in that direction as you hear something scamper off.
Do I see the tracks moving as well?
Yes.
Into the forest, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're moving very, very quickly.
Midnight, once she's certain that they've moved, which, because the tracks have gone, she's pretty certain, she immediately keeps jumping up the mountain.
You're still in the forest, love.
Seriously?
Yes.
Meanie. Fine, keeps runs.
Runs?
Silently runs. That's what you're imagining?
Mm-hmm.
You're bloody well annoying. Not at all what I have in my brain. So, silently keeps moving. Shouldn't you be going back to Rosalia soon?
She's unconscious. She knocked herself out.
You can revive
I'm
her.
not back yet. I'm still respawning.
Just one last thing before I go back to Rosalia.
Mm-hmm.
As you are sneaking through the forest, as I imagine you were trying to say earlier,
Yeah.
you suddenly get tackled. And find yourself, after rolling a few times, on your back on the ground.
Looks up quickly, teeth bared and claws ready to go.
You see nothing. But you feel yourself being held down.
Sort of visualizes where, like, I'm guessing I can feel the thing pushing down on me. So quickly works out where their eyes would probably be, face basically, and scratches and digs my claws in deeply into their face and eyes.
You hear, they are blind. They have no eyes.
What are their eyes?
You hear a squealing
According
sound.
to this picture, they have eyes.
You have
also seen it.
You have a squealing. You hear a squealing sound, and purplish blood pours onto your face, getting into your eyes.
Shakes my head quickly, wiping the blood away, but keeps digging in and pushing the creature off.
You hear the heavy body of the creature falling onto the floor as it thrashes. And in the distance, you hear answering shouts from its mates.
Knowing where its thing is now, rips its neck, rips its throat out, silencing it.
You hear the sound of running and disturbed leaves in the distance.
Immediately scarpers. Running as fast as I can away, and looking for water again to wash off this blood.
You reach the foot of the mountain.
Thinks for a second, but wipes the blood off with some leaves and then runs up the mountain.
You encounter no resistance until about halfway up.
Oh.
One of the rocks of the mountain suddenly starts moving.
That I'm standing on, or that is just over in the corner?
That is ahead of you.
Like, moving how? Towards me?
Moving in a way that it looks like a creature standing up. And as it turns to you, its eyes look like molten lava.
Before it can get its bearings, run at it and push it off the mountain and run fast. Keep on running.
And as you run, all around you, you see the rocks coming to life.
Keeps moving faster and faster so that they don't have a chance to react.
And you reach the top.
Looks around for the...
And there, a big glowing crystal is hovering, and beside it is Lupina licking her fur.
Runs over, touches the crystal, and says, "What the hell were those things?"
Tasty.
What?
Lupina points at a pile of bones behind herself. And you distinctly see that some of them still have the scaly hide of the things that were hunting you on it.
You were hunting them while I was running away from them?
You were never in any danger.
What are they?
They are... How to put this? A creation of Elysium to sharpen her soldier's wit.
Well, that would definitely do it. Ugh.
But I like to call them dinner.
Is there anything you don't call dinner? Other than your own wolves?
You.
I'll take that as a compliment. I think.
You should.
Midnight then.
You were in a tight...
Sits down.
You were in a few tight spots there, but don't worry. The ones that would have overwhelmed you, I took care of.
Midnight feels slightly embarrassed by that because she thought she did okay overall.
Lupina summons up a little orb in the air, showing the scene where you were standing in front of the hedge, looking back and forth, unable to decide what to do. And then she waves her other paw over the orb, and revealed are dozens of those creatures prowling in the bushes around you.
Yeah, sorry, that hedge reminded me of a story that basically told me, jump into a hedge that you can't see the end of, jump over a hedge that you can't see the end of, and you're dead.
Had you not jumped, you would have been dead.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them escaped my grasp.
Sorry.
The 2 running next to you were not hunting you. They were running away from me.
I even see you. Did you turn yourself invisible?
It's something I cannot do.
Then what did you do?
I hunted.
You can't turn yourself invisible like that.
No, I can't.
No, what I mean is, Midnight is very confused.
Did you at any point sense my presence in the forest?
None. I assumed you'd be flying high above me or just watching me from orbs.
I was never further than about 10 meters away from you.
Then what about the one that jumped on me?
It would have been 4.
Fair
I
enough.
assumed you could take 1.
Again, fair enough. Guess I'm not as good a hunter as I thought.
But you are not as bad as I thought either. If that is any consolation.
Midnight smirks, chuckling. How bad did you think I was?
To be precise, I thought I would have to carry you out in pieces here.
Okay. I'm both glad I proved you wrong and insulted that you thought that much of me.
She summons up the picture of a dismembered badger in a clearing.
Poor badger.
I'm pretty sure this badger had a much worse day than you. So why are you complaining?
Point. Then why didn't they eat it?
Because they were hunting you. Them killing it was more of an accident.
Oops. And those lava rock people?
Are the guardians of this mountain. It is holy to them.
Huh. Okay. Why?
Because Script once placed this gem here to bring light to this dark world.
Why?
Honestly, because he was too lazy to bring a flashlight.
Yeah, that sounds like him. Though I'm glad he did.
And so, these people worship this gem.
Makes sense. And they just let you up here? Looked like they were going to try and stop me.
Do you really think they can stop me?
No. But I would expect them to try, maybe.
She points at one corner of the mountaintop.
Looks over.
You see that that side of the mountain seems to be splattered with cooling lava all over.
And my point is proven. So, I'm guessing I passed?
Barely.
Hey, I survived!
She points at your front paw as a badger bit you.
Hey, that was just because of a plan.
If you were living in the wild, this injury without your magic would incapacitate you for weeks.
I got hurt all the time before I had my magic.
Still, you would not be able to hunt sufficiently.
True. That's why I've got my sister. She's very good at fixing me up. Nearly too much.
You shouldn't need someone who's good at fixing you up.
Yes, and the Lupin Arcani are too good for doctors.
No, we actually have very good doctors. Even prosthetic limbs are very common with my kind.
Makes sense. So, what's the downside of me getting hurt and having someone to look after me? Isn't that what a pack is all about?
It is what a pack is all about. But you might find yourself in a situation where your pack is not within reach. That was what this exercise was about. Had I not interfered a few times, you would not be standing right there.
True.
If I had to evaluate your performance, you performed as well as a 9-year-old Lupine Arcani who went through basic training.
Midnight chuckles a little. Well, to be fair, I was taught to be a wolf, hunting, gathering, knowing what plants to use and what plants not to use. I wasn't exactly taught to be more than that.
But I think the most important lesson you did learn today.
Midnight turns to look at Luna again.
You panicked. You were afraid. Weren't you?
Midnight's ears go back. Yeah. First time in a long time.
You felt hunted by an opponent that you couldn't beat. Right?
Right.
Lupina looks at you sternly. But did you freeze, hide, or give up?
Well, no, I couldn't.
Did you attack? Did you go on a desperate charge and try to fight even though you knew you couldn't win?
Well, no. I had to survive. That was the whole point. I couldn't... If I died now, what would my pups think?
Live to fight another day. That is the lesson that you learned today. And that is a very important lesson, even for me. Because we might be practically immortal. But in a place like this, where our powers are suppressed, or when someone uses a suppression field like Princess Cadence did, I can just as easily die as an immortal.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Meaning, I have to be careful. And I have to remind myself that if I cannot win, I have to get out of there and fight another day.
You may lose the battle, but you won't lose the war.
Exactly. And Lupina snips two of her claws together and you're standing in the big grey room again. And I surely hope you do not hold my teaching methods against me.
I admit I wouldn't condone it all the time. But
And at the same time, the door on the other side of the room opens. And Rosalia, with her head bandaged up, is being carried out by the scruff of her neck by that Lupina.
what the fuck, Cole? What did you do to my daughter?
In my defense, she ran headfirst into a tree.
What?
I tried to teach her a wall jump that she could use to get around faster. And she tried to run through the tree instead of jumping on it.
Midnight looks between Lupina and Rosalia, and then back at Lupina, and then Rosalia. Honey, are you okay?
Mary goes around and round, 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 and round.
And kind of her creation magic triggers a little bit, and there are birds flying around her head.
Well, I can't... At least you didn't put her in a situation like me, but... I'm starting to worry about her mentality. Midnight...
I might assure you that I was very, very gentle and careful with your daughter.
You gave her cake.
So?
You know she's not going to eat dinner now, right?
I know that, right? But since our training session extended far past dinner time, I thought providing her with dinner would be prudent.
Yeah, true. Turkey would have been better. But, fair enough. Midnight takes Rose from Lupina and places her on her back. Come on, hon. Let's get you back to your dad. He might want to have a look at you.
Belly, belly goes around, goes around. She's still quite gone.
Lupina dispels her copy, looking at Rosalia a little bit concerned.
Oh.
Don't worry, I'm sure she's fine. You have any idea how many times I accidentally ran into trees as a pup? Bear in mind it was accidental and it wasn't anything to do with magic. It's just I wasn't looking where I was going.
You apparently did not run against a tree with about 100 miles per hour.
100 miles per hour?
Yes.
We can run at 100 miles per hour?
As pups, yes.
What do you mean as pups? Not adults?
Do you want to know my top speed?
Sure.
I can break the sound barrier.
Oh.
Cute.
Can I break this sound barrier?
With enough training.
Huh. I really need to learn how to use this magic. Both kinds.
I would assume so.
Maybe I'll get that book to teach me again.
But be very, very careful. She did manage to master my howl today.
Wait. Mastered it already?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good pup.
Yes, you are, darling. But how can you master something like that in a single lesson?
She is very talented.
Ah. Did she
Also,
surprise you?
it is not very hard to do.
Well, mastering it and controlling it are two different things, but...
That is why I tell you to be careful.
I'll make sure she's careful. We both will be.
Good.
Thank you, Lupina.
You are more than welcome.
And don't forget, we still have that get-together this weekend.
Yes. I will not forget.
Good, because I'm not having any of you start a precedence of being late.
Lupina rolls her eyes at you.
And midnight.
And then licks Rosalia's cheek.
Oh no! The hurricane is coming. Hides all the beavers.
Midnight just shakes her head at Rosalia's antics. Yeah, I think she's concussed.
Very, very likely. I did do first aid, and don't worry, there's a little bit of healing magics that I know I already used on her.
Thank you. And I'm sure Script will be able to patch her up properly. And I'll maybe get some healing herbs from Big Sis.
Okay, so Lupina opens up a portal for you back to the mansion.
After a quick hug, we head down. We head through.
You step into the living room to see... Ramo Sky, Silver Star, Ivory Mist, and Pixie Cotton have already returned.
Hey,
Ramo is sitting in one corner reading a very sick book. Silver Star is juggling gems, making them disappear and appear in midair.
Okay.
Morphus is kind of Ivory Mist is stuck between the form of a giant slug and that of a wolf.
Okay.
And Pixie Cotton stands in one corner, polishing a suit of black spiked armor.
I'm guessing all your training went well?
They just look up at you, glare at you, and then go back to what they were doing.
Midnight wonders to herself, what exactly happened?
Well, that you have to find out by talking to them in the next episode.
I knew you were going to say that. At first I thought, is he going to finish with talking to them? Or is he going to say in the next episode?
If you want to, you can talk to them now.
No, the next episode's good. This is a good place to end with a bit of mystery. What happened? What did they do? What did Morphus do?
Morphus basically taught Ivory Mist how to transform.
And now he can't stay in one form.
No, the problem is that he tried to transform, lost the thought of the form that he wanted to take, and is now stuck between a wolf and a slug.
basically a wolf that is slightly like gelatin.
Yeah.
Mm.
With a snake house on its back.
So cute.
And yeah, Pixie Cotton has a suit of black spiked armor that she's polishing.
That's not good. Who was looking
No.
after her again?
Celestia.
Ah.
Oh boy.
Fun.
Silver Star is juggling the gems because she's practicing her gem magic. And Ramo Sky is reading up all about the ins and outs of the law of the realm of the dead.
That's at least a very good one.
Well, you came back concussed.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of all of them, I think you got the worst of this.
Yeah, curiosity killed the cat.
I'd say that Pixie Cotton got the worst of it, but okay.
Why did Pixie Cotton got armor?
We don't know
Yes.
how her mental state is.
True. Anyway, that was fun and terrifying and disturbing.
Super fun.
And sorry if I got a little testy in the middle there. I was really like, eh.
Yeah, sorry for scaring you.
Oh no, you're fine. You're totally fine.
Well, what, are you testy with me?
No, not at all. Never. No. Anyway. Love you, Han.
Love you too. Apparently someone joins the server who doesn't know what the server is. Okay. But yeah, it was fun.
That was.
Very fun. Too bad she didn't think of how she would run through a tree. Speed wasn't enough, apparently.
No, she isn't the Flash.
Well, at least she's quite curious about this magic, and I think that's a good thing, because before she was a character I control, now she's more a character alive in my head. So,
That is
Yeah.
fair.
yeah, that's gonna be fun. So I'm very sorry for scaring Midnight and Visual when they found out. Find out?
Yeah, I wonder what Script's gonna say about Rose being knocked out and concussed.
He'll likely just take off his glasses, rub the bridge of his nose, and be like, next time I'm giving her a helmet. Our little speed demon.
Gotta go fast, go faster. Diddle-diddle-dee-dee.
No, she's not watching Sonic. No, that actually might keep
oh.
this out.
Oh. Okay,
Nice.
Alexa.
Nice.
Sorry. I ate something earlier that might not be agreeing with me.
Aww.
At all.
Aw.
I ate something that only after I ate it, I realized last time I ate it, I puked.
Aw.
And I'm already feeling a bit queasy.
Not good.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Anyway. Hope you all enjoyed. In that note, hope you all enjoyed.
I
you
seriously did. I seriously did. So,
The image of a one-footed raptor.
love, it will be even more interesting once I get into the meat of this. Yeah, basically.
Chapter.
Not chapter, into this story arc.
Ah.
Because I have a story arc already planned out. Anyhow, hope you all liked it. I am VisualPony.
And Midnight 29.
I'm Chris.
And you are Chris, yes.
Sorry.
And Midnight and I would like to remind you that we have a Teespring store, if you want to support us, that is linked down below in the description of this. And there's also a link to our patrons.
Yep. So you can even choose who you like more and support them.
Really?
What?
Go ahead, Chris.
I just wanted to say that I have some of the T-shirts and handbags, even some of the stickers, and I can say that the T-shirts are very comfortable, and the bags can handle a lot of weight because I use them when I get groceries and stuff.
You see? So there's no reason why not to go over there. Also, there will be a new design soon, and we have one that Midnight designed not too long ago, called We Howl Together.
Yay! That's next on my wish list.
Anyhow, I'll stop the stream now, and I hope that we can see you in the next one.
Keep watching that moon.
Ow!
Ow!
Ow!